how you don't do this, right? You don't go like, you don't go like this. You don't go, okay, so here's shape right there. Now, no. Here's what I'm gonna do. Notice what I'm doing, right? I'm holding it really loosely and kind of sideways. Not like this. This is writing, right? This is what I'm doing. Because this doesn't give me much force. I can't go, ugh, right? I can just go like this, like just barely make a shape. And the line is kind of faint, right? Too big. Right, so this gives me a lot more opportunity to make changes. And I want that because I might not get it right the first time. In fact, I won't get it right the first time. And so I want the ability to make changes. I want to be able to go back in and say, oh, geez, that was in the wrong place, or that was too big, or that was too little. And so it's nice and light. And the fact that I can do that is due to the fact that I'm not really committing to anything. I'm just kind of barely roughing it out, like just barely giving myself, you know, a little bit of information.
I was just wanting to see how light it is.
Yeah, it's very light. It's very. You can even almost hear it. It's just like, right? It's like, it's real scribbly sounding. Yeah, this is called a gesture drawing. Gesture drawings make a lot of noise. They're scribbly. So what I'm doing here is, remember, general to specific. I am not worried about detail right now. I don't want to be worried about detail because detail is going to throw me in the wrong direction. I want this thing to be loose. I want it to be like barely there so that as I build it, I can start to see, okay, that's sort of correct, so I'm going to leave it. Or, oh, that's really wrong, I'm going to get rid of it. And that's the process that general to specific allows. Because then you can start to see where things are correct and when they're not correct. So the idea of moving into more detail is slow, and at first you kind of have to force it. You have to force yourself to go slow. It's difficult if you've not been using this method, and it also will seem a little bit chaotic. Like it'll just seem like, what a mess. Like, what am I supposed to do with this mess, right? Because it just seems like a big bunch of scribbles. But here's the key. Here's what I'm doing in my head. I'm not saying this out loud just because I've been doing this for 40 years. But what I'm saying in my head is, does this look like that? Does this look like that? And if it does look like that, great. Mostly it won't. Mostly it won't look like that. So what that means is, I go, okay, so what's different? And as soon as I see the thing that's different, then I change it, I fix it. And that gives me the opportunity to very slowly, over time, focus and tweak this thing so that I can start to make it more correct as I go. And that's where the power of general to specific comes from, is the ability to very slowly check it and focus it. And say, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, as opposed to just being kind of screwed because you did one shot at it and you're stuck and that's it. Right? That's not going to help you.
And you're also kind of moving around instead
Very
of
good.
finishing the eye.
Why would I do that?
Like what you said, you're not finishing the kitchen before you start on that.
Exactly, because this way I can relate parts to parts. I can go, does this go with this? Is this in the right place according to that? Is this in the right position relative to that thing? Do the things match up? And that idea, that I can compare parts to parts, that's a huge advantage. Because it allows you to go, oh, okay, oh, I see, that's wrong, or it belongs there, or it's too big, or it's too little, or whatever. Because you've got that opportunity, because you have enough information down that you can start to fine-tune it to itself. So So see, now I'm starting to get a little more detailed, but not really. I'm not committing, because maybe I don't want this here. Maybe I don't want that there. Maybe I do. Right? So I'm starting to kind of feel like, okay, maybe this is kind of correct. So I'm going to start to focus it a little bit, but still not much. I'm not really going, oh yeah, that's exactly right, I'm done. I'm still making little changes. And then blah, 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 and you kind of see like, I'm going to add just a few more details. Flesh out a few things. Focus it a little bit more.
I'm gonna need to be wrinkle free in this.
So obviously, you know, I could do this all night. You get the idea. Right? So you kind of get like where you would go with this and how it gives you a lot more power towards getting the thing to be true, to be correct, because it slows you down. It makes you look. And if you look and learn how to look, you're going to see, oh, well, that was wrong. I screwed that up. And then blah, 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 blah. But you get the idea, right? So the idea is that loose, scribbly, you notice how it kind of like floaty, and then a little bit like all of a sudden, hey, there was a face there. Like, where'd that come from, right? That's because it's just like focusing over time, as opposed to just like, here's the face. You know, that's not going to work. So that slow, organic process, that's what you want to think about. Painting or drawing. Painting or drawing, okay? So I'd like you guys to, we're going to all try